Have you ever stopped to think about the power of silence? In a world dominated by constant noise, both external and internal, it can feel almost impossible to find even a moment of calm. Yet, silence isn't just the absence of sound, it's a tool, a refuge, and a path to something deeper within ourselves. The Buddha once emphasized the transformative power of silence, urging us to practice it as a way to connect with our true nature and find lasting peace. But what does that really mean in our modern, bustling lives? Take a moment and imagine this: you're caught in a cycle of stress, overwhelmed by endless notifications, meetings, and conversations. Now imagine pressing pause, a moment of pure quiet where there's no rush to speak, no need to react, just stillness. It's in these moments that we often find clarity. Silence allows our minds to rest and recalibrate. It gives space for thoughts to settle, emotions to surface, and deeper understanding to emerge. In today's video, we're diving into the profound teachings of the Buddha to explore why silence is more than just not talking. Together, we'll uncover 5 key aspects of its power. We'll begin with its meaning in Buddhist philosophy and why it's seen as a gateway to enlightenment. Then, we'll look at the measurable benefits silence brings to our mental well-being, how it reduces stress, boosts focus, and fosters inner calm. From there, we'll explore its surprising role in improving communication and relationships, showing how it can help us truly listen and connect with others. We'll also share timeless lessons from the life of the Buddha, where silence wasn't just a concept but a practice woven into his every teaching. Finally, we'll provide practical steps for embracing silence in your own life, even amidst the chaos of the modern world. This isn't about escaping from life, it's about embracing it fully, with a clearer, calmer mind. Silence is a gift we can all give ourselves, and it begins with small steps. So, whether you're looking for peace, clarity, or simply a way to reconnect with yourself, this journey into the power of silence is for you. Let's take this journey together and uncover why the Buddha's wisdom on silence remains as relevant today as it was thousands of years ago. Who knows? You might just find that in the stillness lies your greatest strength. Part 1: The concept of silence in Buddhist teachings. For many, silence simply means the absence of words, a state where no sound is produced. However, in Buddhist teachings, silence carries a much deeper and more profound significance. Buddha emphasized that silence is not only an outward action but also an inward process, a way to achieve inner peace and enlightened understanding. Imagine this: in our modern lives, we are constantly surrounded by noise. Endless conversations, the hum of technology, and even the unrelenting stream of thoughts in our minds. All of this feels like an unending current, making it difficult to truly hear ourselves. The silence Buddha speaks of is not a temporary quiet but rather a precious space, where one can connect deeply with their own being. In Buddhist scriptures, silence helps us detach from the binding nature of words. While words have the power to convey meaning, they often lead to misunderstanding, conflict, or even become unnecessary distractions. When we embrace silence, we not only avoid the pitfalls of excessive speech but also allow the truth to reveal itself more clearly. Buddha often practiced and encouraged his disciples to engage in noble silence, a state of calm where one refrains from unnecessary words to focus on meditation and understanding the essence of reality. One of the remarkable stories about silence in Buddha's life was when he faced provocative or pointless questions. Instead of responding, he chose silence as the best answer. Buddha's silence was not avoidance but a powerful method to convey profound messages. He understood that words often fail to fully express the truth, and silence becomes the most fitting response. Furthermore, the silence described in Buddhism is not exclusively for monks or seasoned meditators. It is accessible to everyone, from young people to the elderly, from those searching for happiness to those who have achieved success in life. Anyone can practice silence simply by setting aside moments in their day to stop speaking, stop thinking, and just listen to their own breath. When you do this, you'll experience an extraordinary peace, a feeling of closeness to your true self. Why is silence so highly regarded? Because in silence, we learn acceptance, without judgment or the need for immediate answers. Silence teaches us to slow down, to become more aware of the present moment, and to recognize the impermanence of everything, from emotions to thoughts, from desires to worries. In conclusion, silence in Buddhist teachings is more than just not speaking, it is an art of living, a pathway to freedom and enlightenment. Buddha left us with an important lesson: be silent when needed, for only in those moments can we truly hear our souls. And when we achieve that, silence is no longer an empty space, it is the place where all answers reside. Part 2: The benefits of silence for mental health. In modern life, we often feel overwhelmed by the pressures of work, relationships, and endless worries. External noise and chaotic internal thoughts can feel like relentless waves, leaving our minds no room to rest. But did you know that silence is a priceless remedy to restore balance, reduce stress, and uncover inner peace? In Buddhist teachings, silence is a powerful method to improve mental health. When we are silent, our minds have a chance to stop chasing unproductive thoughts. It's like pressing the pause button for our brains, allowing time to recharge and recover. Scientific studies have shown that silence reduces cortisol levels, the stress hormone, in the body, significantly improving mental well-being. Think about a moment when you experience true silence: no talking, no external sounds, no distractions. These moments, though fleeting, can provide a rare sense of comfort. You might hear your own breathing, notice hidden emotions, and even understand profound thoughts that you hadn't paid attention to before. This is what silence offers, a way to truly listen inwardly. The benefits of silence go beyond stress reduction. It also enhances focus. In a world full of distractions, silence enables you to concentrate on what truly matters. This is why meditation, a practice rooted in silence, is considered one of the most effective ways to boost productivity and creativity. When your mind is freed from unnecessary noise, you can think more clearly, make wiser decisions, and approach problems with newfound clarity. Additionally, silence acts as a healing balm for the soul. In moments of grief or stress, we often seek comfort from external sources. But what we truly need sometimes lies within. Silence isn't about avoiding emotions, it's about feeling them authentically. It allows you to face your pain, accept it, and ultimately move forward. Buddhist teachings emphasize that silence serves as a bridge between the mind and the spirit. It's not just a tool for achieving peace but a way to cultivate compassion and understanding. In silence, you have the time to reflect on your actions, words, and the meaning of existence. These reflections help you gain deeper insights into yourself and the world, paving the way for a life filled with meaning. However, practicing silence isn't always easy. It requires patience and determination. You don't need to start with long periods of silence. Just a few minutes of quiet each day can refresh your mind and spirit. Try turning off your phone, stepping away from technology, and spending time in a peaceful space. Sit down, close your eyes, and focus on your breath. Gradually, you'll notice the positive changes silence brings. In conclusion, silence is the mental medicine we need in today's high-pressure world. It not only reduces stress but also opens the door to peace and inner happiness. Part 3: Silence in Communication and Relationships. Communication is often regarded as the cornerstone of human connection. We use words to express our thoughts, share our emotions, and build relationships. But what happens when words fail us? What if silence, often overlooked, holds the key to more meaningful and impactful communication? In the modern world, we are accustomed to filling every pause with words. Awkward silences in conversations are often seen as something to be avoided. Yet, silence, when practiced with intention, can transform the way we communicate and deepen our relationships. The Buddha taught that silence is not merely the absence of speech but an active practice of listening, understanding, and connecting on a deeper level. Imagine sitting with a friend or a loved one and choosing to listen, truly listen, without interrupting or forming responses in your head. Silence creates space for emotions to unfold, for stories to emerge, and for genuine understanding to take root. It allows us to step back from the urge to prove ourselves or persuade others and instead focus on the shared experience of simply being present. One of the most powerful aspects of silence is its ability to foster empathy. In moments of silence, we can attune ourselves to the subtleties of nonverbal communication, the tone of voice, body language, and facial expressions, that often convey more than words ever could. By embracing silence, we become better at picking up on these cues, strengthening the bonds we share with others. Silence also teaches us patience. In conversations, we often rush to fill gaps, thinking that silence is a sign of discomfort or disinterest. However, allowing silence to exist can provide both parties with time to reflect. This is particularly valuable in emotionally charged situations, where the pause created by silence can prevent misunderstandings and impulsive reactions. The Buddha's use of silence in communication was masterful. In Buddhist scriptures, there are stories of Buddha choosing silence in response to questions that were provocative or without substance. His silence was not avoidance but a deliberate tool to guide others toward introspection and self-discovery. By not offering immediate answers, Buddha encouraged his followers to seek deeper truths within themselves, a practice that can enrich modern conversations as well. Silence is also a remedy for misunderstandings in relationships. Words, no matter how well-intended, can sometimes escalate conflicts or create barriers. Silence, however, can diffuse tension, offering a moment to step back and reassess before speaking. In this way, silence becomes an act of wisdom and love, prioritizing understanding over winning an argument. Moreover, practicing silence in relationships is an exercise in humility. It requires us to let go of our ego, the part of us that always wants to be heard or to have the last word. In the quiet, we learn to value the perspectives of others and recognize the limitations of our own. Silence is not about submission but about creating a space for mutual growth and respect. On a practical level, incorporating silence into communication doesn't mean you have to stay quiet all the time. It's about being intentional with your words and choosing when silence might serve a greater purpose. Start small. The next time you're in a conversation, resist the urge to interrupt or respond immediately. Instead, allow a moment of pause to absorb what the other person is truly saying. You might be surprised at how much more meaningful the exchange becomes. In professional relationships, silence can also be a powerful tool. It shows confidence, thoughtfulness, and the ability to listen, qualities that can improve teamwork and problem-solving. In personal relationships, silence can strengthen bonds by fostering trust and emotional intimacy. Ultimately, silence in communication is an art, a balance between saying enough and saying nothing at all. It's a skill that allows us to connect more deeply, understand more fully, and build relationships that are both enduring and meaningful. In conclusion, silence is not the enemy of communication, it's a vital ally. By integrating silence into our conversations and relationships, we can discover a new depth of connection, one that words alone could never achieve. And as Buddha taught us, sometimes the most profound truths are found not in what is said, but in the quiet space between words. Part 4. Lessons from the Life of Buddha on Silence. The life of Buddha is a wellspring of wisdom, offering profound lessons on how to live with mindfulness, compassion, and clarity. Among his teachings, the practice of silence holds a special significance, not as an act of avoidance, but as a pathway to truth, understanding, and enlightenment. One of the remarkable aspects of Buddha's approach to silence is how he used it as a powerful teaching tool. In Buddhist scriptures, there are numerous instances where Buddha encountered provocative or seemingly unnecessary questions from followers, critics, or curious individuals. Instead of rushing to respond, he often chose silence. This silence was far from passive, it carried intentionality and meaning. Buddha understood that some questions don't need answers, at least not in a conventional sense. His silence encouraged those questioning to reflect deeply and seek answers within themselves. For example, there's a well-known story in which Buddha was asked to explain the nature of the universe and whether it is finite or infinite. Recognizing that such inquiries detract from the essential question of how to alleviate human suffering, Buddha remained silent. This choice wasn't dismissive, rather, it served to redirect focus to what truly mattered, living a life free of ignorance and attachment. Buddha's silence wasn't limited to responses, it also extended to his presence. His ability to remain silent in moments of tension or conflict demonstrated the strength and wisdom of restraint. Silence, for Buddha, was a way to rise above ego-driven impulses and guide others to self-realization. This principle is one that continues to resonate in modern life. How often do we speak out of impatience, frustration, or the need to assert ourselves, only to later regret our words? Practicing silence as Buddha did can prevent unnecessary conflict and open doors to understanding. Moreover, silence allowed Buddha to foster deeper connections with those around him. Through quiet observation and listening, he cultivated empathy for the suffering of others. Silence became a way to be fully present, offering those who sought his guidance the space to express themselves without interruption or judgment. This aspect of Buddha's practice remains a valuable lesson in relationships today. How much more meaningful would our conversations be if we truly listened instead of planning our next reply? By embracing silence, we create a safe space for others to share openly, strengthening bonds and nurturing mutual respect. In addition to interpersonal communication, silence in Buddha's teachings was integral to the pursuit of enlightenment. Buddha emphasized the importance of meditation as a practice rooted in silence, both external and internal. Through meditation, practitioners quiet their minds, moving beyond the constant chatter of thoughts to reach a state of inner clarity. It is in this silence that one can confront the truths of existence, recognize the impermanence of life, and ultimately attain liberation from suffering. For Buddha, silence wasn't just about the absence of words but also the cultivation of wisdom. It allowed individuals to step away from the noise of the world and listen to the deeper truths within themselves. This is a lesson that remains profoundly relevant today. In a world dominated by social media, endless notifications, and an overwhelming amount of information, silence is increasingly rare, and increasingly vital. By taking inspiration from Buddha's example, we can reclaim moments of quiet to center ourselves and align with what truly matters. Another story from Buddha's life illustrates the transformative power of silence. A monk once approached Buddha, expressing doubt about his spiritual practice and his ability to follow the path. Instead of offering immediate reassurance or answers, Buddha sat silently with the monk. In the quiet, the monk found the space to reflect on his fears and doubts, ultimately finding renewed strength to continue his journey. This story underscores how silence can serve as a mirror, enabling individuals to confront their inner struggles and discover their own solutions. In conclusion, the lessons from Buddha's life show that silence is far more than the absence of sound, it is a force for reflection, connection, and transformation. By practicing silence in our daily lives, we can reduce conflict, deepen relationships, and cultivate inner peace. As Buddha demonstrated, sometimes the most powerful answers are found not in words, but in the quiet moments where we truly listen and learn. Part 5: How to Practice Silence in Daily Life. In our fast-paced, hyper-connected world, the concept of silence might seem almost unattainable. Between work demands, endless notifications, and social obligations, finding even a few moments of quiet can feel like a luxury. Yet, practicing silence is one of the most powerful tools you can use to restore balance, calm your mind, and reconnect with your true self. Inspired by Buddhist teachings, cultivating silence in your daily life doesn't have to be overwhelming. It can start with small, intentional steps that fit seamlessly into your routine. 1. Create a space for stillness. One of the first and easiest ways to practice silence is to carve out a space, both physically and mentally, where you can disconnect from noise. This could be a quiet corner in your home, a park bench, or even your car before stepping into a busy day. Wherever it is, let it be a place that invites peace. In this space, set aside 5 to 10 minutes each day to simply sit in silence. No phone, no music, no distractions. Allow yourself to soak in the stillness. If thoughts begin to flood your mind, Acknowledge them without judgment and gently return your focus to the silence. 2. Embrace mindful breathing. The simplest way to connect with silence is through your breath. Buddhist practices often emphasize the power of mindful breathing as a gateway to inner peace. Take slow, deliberate breaths, paying attention to the sensation of air entering and leaving your body. This rhythmic focus not only anchors you in the present moment but also calms your mind, creating a natural state of silence. Even amidst a hectic day, pausing for a minute or two to breathe mindfully can make a noticeable difference. 3. Limit exposure to digital noise. In today's world, much of the noise we encounter comes from technology. Notifications, emails, social media feeds, and constant connectivity can overwhelm your senses. Practicing silence doesn't mean abandoning technology completely, but it does mean setting boundaries. Consider implementing digital detox periods during your day. For example, turn off your phone for an hour before bedtime or start your morning without checking emails. These small windows of quiet will help you feel more grounded and less reactive to the world around you. 4. Practice active listening. Silence isn't just about what you do when you're alone, it's also a skill to use in your interactions with others. The next time you're having a conversation, focus entirely on what the other person is saying. Resist the urge to interrupt, formulate responses, or fill pauses with words. Instead, listen with empathy and intention. By staying silent, you'll create space for genuine understanding and connection. This practice not only enriches your relationships but also teaches you to value thoughtful communication over impulsive replies. 5. Incorporate meditation into your routine. Meditation is one of the most effective ways to practice silence on a deeper level. While some may think meditation is daunting, it's actually quite simple to start. Find a comfortable position, close your eyes, and focus on your breath, a mantra, or even the sounds around you. The goal is not to eliminate thoughts but to observe them without attachment. Through consistent practice, meditation helps quiet the mind's chatter and brings you closer to the profound stillness Buddha spoke of. You can begin with as little as 5 minutes a day and gradually extend the time as you grow more comfortable. 6. Observe silence in daily activities. Practicing silence doesn't always require sitting still. You can incorporate it into everyday tasks like cooking, walking, or cleaning. Choose one activity and perform it without speaking, playing music, or multitasking. Focus solely on the task at hand. For instance, while preparing a meal, pay attention to the texture of the ingredients, the sound of chopping, or the aroma of the spices. This kind of mindful silence turns ordinary moments into opportunities for reflection and peace. 7. Start small and be consistent. It's important to remember that practicing silence is a journey, not a destination. You don't need to make drastic changes overnight. Start with small, manageable steps, perhaps a minute of quiet during your morning coffee or a brief walk without headphones. Over time, these small moments will accumulate, and you'll find silence becoming a natural and cherished part of your life. In conclusion, practicing silence is about creating space for your mind to rest, for your heart to open, and for your spirit to reconnect with the present. By following these steps, inspired by Buddhist teachings, you'll uncover a newfound sense of peace and clarity in your daily life. Silence isn't just the absence of noise, it's the presence of calm, wisdom, and strength. With a little intention and practice, it can become a transformative force in your life. Part 6. Silence and Healing. Life is a journey filled with moments of joy and pain, triumphs and losses. In times of pain, whether it's the grief of losing a loved one, the wounds of betrayal, or the vague unease of uncertainty, we often search for comfort outside ourselves. We lean on friends, seek distractions, or immerse ourselves in activities that temporarily numb our distress. However, as the teachings of Buddha suggest, the answer often lies within. Silence, when embraced as a practice, can serve as a profound tool for healing and renewal. According to Buddhist philosophy, silence is not merely the absence of sound. It is a sacred space where the mind finds rest and clarity, allowing us to face our pain with courage and compassion. Buddha taught that suffering is an inevitable part of life, a result of attachment and impermanence. Yet, through mindfulness and stillness, we can observe our suffering without judgment, creating room for understanding and acceptance. Imagine silence as a mirror. It reflects the emotions and thoughts we often try to suppress. When we sit in silence, we allow our pain to surface. Instead of resisting or avoiding it, we learn to acknowledge it. This act of acknowledgement is the first step toward healing. By staying present with our emotions, silence gives us the strength to let go of what weighs us down, much like clouds passing through the sky eventually dissipate, revealing the clear blue. Forgiveness is another essential aspect of healing through silence. Buddha emphasized the power of forgiveness as a path to liberation, not just forgiveness of others, but also forgiveness of ourselves. Silence creates a calm environment where we can reflect on our grievances and let go of anger, blame, and resentment. In doing so, we unburden our hearts, freeing ourselves from the chains of negativity. Forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting the pain but choosing not to let it define us. It allows us to move forward with clarity and peace. In moments of silence, creativity often blossoms. With the noise of daily life stilled, the mind opens itself to new possibilities and insights. Artists, writers, and visionaries throughout history have turned to silence as a wellspring of inspiration. According to Buddhist teachings, creativity arises when the mind is untangled from distractions, rooted in the present. When we immerse ourselves in silence, we allow ideas to emerge naturally, unfiltered and unforced. Gratitude is another powerful emotion that silence helps cultivate. In the rush of daily life, we often overlook the small but profound blessings surrounding us, the rhythm of our breath, the warmth of the sun, or the kindness of a stranger. Silence invites us to slow down and recognize these gifts. Buddha taught that gratitude transforms the way we perceive life. Instead of focusing on what we lack, we become aware of the abundance already present. This shift in perspective fosters inner happiness and contentment. Healing through silence is not about escaping from reality but confronting it with mindfulness and grace. It teaches us that pain is not something to be feared or avoided but an opportunity for growth and self-discovery. By embracing silence, we gain the courage to sit with discomfort, to understand its roots, and eventually to release it. To integrate the healing power of silence into daily life, Buddhist practice offers simple but profound methods. Meditation is perhaps the most well-known. By focusing on the breath or a mantra, practitioners can quiet the chatter of the mind and create a peaceful space for reflection. Walking meditation is another way to practice silence while staying connected to the body and the environment. Even a few moments of intentional quiet during everyday activities, such as drinking tea or watching the sunrise, can cultivate mindfulness and serenity. Ultimately, silence is a gift, a pathway to self-awareness, compassion, and freedom. As Buddha's teachings remind us, healing begins within. By incorporating moments of silence into our lives, we don't just mend our wounds, we transform them into sources of strength and wisdom. In the quiet, we discover that our capacity for peace and resilience is far greater than we realize. Conclusion. Silence, while often overlooked, holds a profound significance that transcends its simplicity. It is not merely the absence of sound or speech, silence is a bridge to self-awareness, peace, and understanding. Through the lens of Buddhist teachings, silence emerges as a tool for deep reflection, emotional healing, and spiritual growth, a practice that is as relevant today as it was thousands of years ago. In our noisy and fast-paced world, silence offers a sanctuary, a space to pause, breathe, and reconnect with what truly matters. It teaches us the value of listening, not just to others but to our own inner voice. When we embrace silence, we step away from the chaos of thoughts and distractions, allowing clarity to surface. It is within this stillness that we often find answers to the questions we've been struggling with, as well as the strength to navigate life's challenges. The power of silence is not confined to personal introspection, it extends to how we relate to others. Silence can transform the way we communicate, fostering empathy, understanding, and genuine connection. In moments of tension or conflict, silence serves as a calming force, providing an opportunity to reflect before speaking and enabling us to respond with wisdom and compassion. Relationships flourish when we are fully present, when we listen without judgment, and when we create space for meaningful dialogue, all made possible through the practice of silence. Buddha's life offers timeless lessons on how silence can be used as a profound tool for teaching and self-discovery. His example reminds us that silence is not about avoidance or passivity, it is an active choice to seek deeper truths and prioritize what truly matters. By incorporating silence into our daily lives, whether through meditation, mindful listening, or simply carving out moments of stillness, we can tap into its transformative power. Ultimately, silence is a gift, a pathway to balance, insight, and inner peace. It invites us to slow down, to be present, and to live with greater intention and awareness. As you reflect on the lessons shared in this video, consider how silence might become a meaningful part of your own journey. After all, the answers we seek often reside not in the noise but in the quiet moments where we truly listen.